There's a lot going on in the world of Magic the Gathering right now. We have a surprise banning of multiple Magic cards. We've got a brand new secret lair, a new festival in a box, and that's not even everything we're going to talk about today.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another fun installment of Mega Magic News. And hold on to your hats. We actually have some positive news. We have some improvements to discuss. I'm actually astounded. So let us start out with the surprise banning. 2 cards have been hit specifically inside the legacy format. We have a common and a rare. Expressive iteration has been given the boot, and so has White Plume Adventurer. So these two basically are part of the 2 biggest decks that exist in Legacy right now. The blue-red card is obviously just fantastic for card advantage in terms of getting what you need and manipulating what's sitting around in your deck and in your hand. So that is a pretty obvious, straightforward, hey, what's up with this card? It's just too solid in the deck. Now, the White Plume Adventurer, you go, wait a minute, Baldur's Gate is actually making an impact? Yeah, the initiative mechanic is a very strong mechanic when left uncontested because it allows you to just continue to traverse through the dungeon. Plus, the way the deck operates, you can easily be swinging in for 5 damage on the second turn. You can go ham once you get this thing on the board. It escalates quickly. So, because both of these 2 decks represented a big part of the field of Legacy, if they just hit one or the other deck, they would end up leaving the other to take over its place and just be like, oh, I am king of the format. So they decided to hit both of them at the same time. So we can see that Wizard's strategy with Fire of making cards that reach out into other formats aside from the standard format and things like that they're normally being placed into is actually working. I wouldn't have expected Baldur's Gate to be an upheaval effect in Legacy, but here we are. We see it actually happening in real time. So in terms of the other formats, Wizards of the Coast has decided that everything else pretty much looks healthy as far as they're concerned. There might be a little bit more of an eye on Vintage, but Vintage is pretty resilient overall and also doesn't get played quite as much, so it takes longer to get the data needed to make decisions on banning for that format, right? So that covers the ban aspect. The next thing that I want to talk about is the new secret lair. These cards look absolutely fantastic. And we're starting out with Phage the Untouchable, which is a really cool card from a flavor perspective and from a power perspective, right? It hits a player, it takes them out of the game. It hits a creature, it takes them out as well. Phage is pure death. The tiniest little touch from her will end your life. And she's a really cool character in Magic the Gathering history. At one point, she was Jessica, and there's this whole arc where she becomes Phage, and then there's a transformation into this whole Corona situation. It's a big, massive, long lore story, and it's really, really cool to see this card getting this special treatment because Phage is somebody you don't see that often nowadays, but to me is a really iconic Magic card. And the idea behind this secret lair is you have essentially like band flyers. So it's called Flyers, Not That Kind, which is a fun little play on the name. But for me, it's the cards themselves that are winners here. Not only do you get Phage, you get Sen's triplets done in this crazy art style. I don't even know what you call it, but it gets wilder from here. Sen's triplets, though, is a very powerful effect, right? It really can shut somebody down full on. This is a card that a lot of people want to have. Another really solid choice for the Secret Lair. The next card is a little bit odd to me in terms of choice, and that's Yisin the Wandering Bard, but I'm afraid to tell him that I think he's a weird choice because the artwork is insane. What is going on here? His face is melting. You've got that headband with the Y on it. Honestly, the name, the artwork, this to me really, really does evoke the band concept. It is a mega trip, but it's a strange card choice. Ultimately, it comes together really well though, so I don't have a problem with it being in here. I just scratched my head when I looked at all 4 cards and went, what's Yisin doing in here? Anyways, you want to know what the last card is? That is a Layla, and this one has that awesome punk vibe to it, right? You've got the fairy creature represented on the card, but also giving you that punk rock, come on out to our underground show. I really do dig the vibe of this Secret Lair. So, this Secret Lair is actually a Magic Con special Secret Lair. So it is included as part of that event, and there's a few different ways to get it. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Festival in a Box. So Festival in a Box is one of the ways that you can get this Secret Lair. I'm going to put an image of the Festival in the Box up on the screen for you, and you can see that Wizards of the Coast seems to have improved the offerings somewhat. You take a look at what they have going on, and you get the Convention Mystery Booster Box, you get a Brothers War Booster Box, and you get a Phyrexia All Will Be One Booster Box on top of the Secret Lair, and that can be ordered through the Secret Lair website when it becomes available. But for me, this is I don't know what the price tag is, so I can't speak to that. But in terms of the content choice, before it felt like they were dumping out garbage they had kicking around in their warehouses. They were like, what old Commander decks do we have kicking around? Capenna or whatever? Yeah, just shove them in there. Who cares? They really did feel like bargain basement discount garbage boxes. With this, at least it feels like they've listened and changed the offering. So this is one of the ways that it actually does feel like they've gotten some feedback that they're listening to. And you may have paid attention to the VIP fiasco stuff that I was covering, right? Well, Wizards of the Coast has made some changes to the VIP experience as well, and actually the regular experience for the Magic Con. So what they've done is they've opened up Command Zone access for everybody. Something that should have been the way it was originally. Yo, hey, do you play Commander? Oh, I thought everybody played Commander. Well, great. Did you buy a ticket? Then come on in and play Commander. So that's how it's going to work going forwards, or at least for this event. Everybody gets Command Zone access as long as you have one of the access passes. Also, they're bringing in creator badges so that people who are content creators can go to the event. And it's like a little side kind of ticket thing where it just gives you access to panels and stuff like that. If you want to go and play in the other events, you can pay for that too. But apparently you can get panel access without having to buy a ticket if you're a content creator, which is pretty neat. The form you have to fill out to do it, though, I found to be hilarious. I looked at the list of things, okay? Now, obviously, they're fine with, do you do TikTok? Do you do YouTube? Like, what is it that you do? But here's the problem. When you go through, you have to put in an answer for every single box. It's like every single answer is required. So, do you have a TikTok following? How big is your TikTok following? Like, what is your percentage of this and that? Like, basically your rates. How many viewers do you have on this platform? How many followers do you have on this platform? How many of this, right? Oh, do you have 1 million views? Do you have this many followers? And for each one, you have to enter an answer in every box. And it just says, put NA if not applicable. There's like 50 boxes. Like, it's every platform imaginable with your followers and everything else too. It was amazing. That was just a little chuckle side corporate nonsense thing that I wanted to toss in because it made me laugh. But back to improvements, because it's nice to see Wizards listening to feedback. So for the VIP experience, they're apparently upgrading a number of things. I have a few little highlights in here because we talked about the negative, so I want to be fair and cover the positive too. So there were complaints, there weren't really exclusives for the VIPs. So they're going to have water bottles, hats, and pins. Also, if you get a VIP pass, they auto include that secret layer for you. So you get the secret layer as part of the pass, and every day you can go to the VIP lounge and they'll give you 3 booster packs. It looks like you also get to play in a March of the Machines event before March of the Machines come out, and there are other packs and an exclusive event, but some of that is just an overlap with the previous pass. Either way, I do want to call out that there have been some genuine improvements. Now, the last news item is that Magic 30 has made its way into the hands of the people. This closes out the entire storyline, right? So Wizards has started to ship these out. They've already arrived in America. They've arrived in Canada. Any other locations, I'm not sure if you're further out, in Australia and stuff like that, but the WPN locations will be getting these. So this now becomes a trophy of the community just saying to Wizards, nah, you don't get to do this. So everybody else gets to enjoy this without Wizards getting to make any money in any way they want to. Do you want to cut it up? Do you want to crack it open and have fun with it? Anyways, I did a whole live stream talking all about this yesterday. I'm going to leave a link up on the screen if you want to know how I got it and what's going down. You can check that out. Thanks for coming by, my friends. I will see you all for the next video. Big shout out to my patrons. Now get up on out of here.